Are you on this one?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me stand to support the report by PIC, by the specific PIC, and let me commend them for having gone to the archives and picked some long, old stories to enable us present their report here. Honorable Speaker, there are two issues that require us to be very clear, to go on record, and this needs to be taken seriously by the leadership of the House. The Constitution of Kenya clearly says the timelines to examine audited accounts, present a report, and have them adopted in the House for purposes of action. Honorable Speaker, here we are dealing with the financial year 2020-something, long after the 6 months allowed in the Constitution. So, Honorable Speaker, it would seem all the work we are doing is just work in vain. It's an exercise in futility that has got no force of law, cannot be enforced. Honorable Speaker, they have made very far-reaching recommendations. Reprimand the then accounting officer, do this XYZ. Honorable Speaker, the then accounting officer will simply say, this is out of time, because the Constitution did not give us any leeway to do anything else other than to follow the timelines provided for in the Constitution. These are debates, and I hope at one time or another, the House leadership will say the same and facilitate these committees to ensure they timeously review these audit reports and make the recommendations on the floor of the House. The third issue, Honorable Speaker, there's also a cross-cutting recommendation. And many of these PIC reports dealing with these sagas and state departments normally have got an issue about land, title to the land grabbing, and the rest of the things. Honorable Speaker, in many other forums, because I'm a member of the Institution of Surveyors of Kenya, in many other forums, we have advised the ministries, we have advised the sagas, we have advised the executive as a whole, that many times you do not have to go through the long process of acquiring a title. All that you simply need to do, you need to vest that land in that particular organization and follow the provisions of the Land Act in so far as identification of the boundaries of land is concerned. Thereafter, the rest of the process will be so simple. And the Honorable Speaker, it is obvious you can never apply and enforce adverse possession on public land. That's a settled point of law. So anybody who is there cannot even be qualified to be a squatter. That's an invader. The government does not even need to go to court to evict them, because you can never claim adverse possession on public land. These are very simple things, Honorable Speaker, that anybody would simply move with the speed, avoid these long stories that keep on wasting people's time. Or they will tell they don't have a budget to hire a surveyor, they don't have a budget to do what and what and what. Many of the places in this country, Honorable Speaker, are already georeferenced. You simply go to pick the boundaries and you know the coordinates of point 1, point 2 to point 3, and it makes life much, much easier. Honorable Speaker, the sagas of the State Department or the units, the parastatals being discussed here, have got very important history in this country of Kenya. It makes my heart bleed when they paint a very sorry state of Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, formerly VOK. Many of us who grew up in those days, KBC or VOK was the mouthpiece that used to communicate. If you are in government, if you are a minister, an assistant minister, a permanent secretary, or a director of medical services, you will never miss to listen to news at 1 p.m. You never miss. So, honestly, I feel bad when I see in the report that KBC is literally insolvent. When I see KBC entering some very dubious, odious loan arrangement or engagements that does not advance anything out of it. Honorable Speaker, BBC is a government-owned entity, and it has lived governments upon governments. It has outlived governments upon governments. It will continue to become the premier source of reliable information in the world. Voice of America, the same. All over the country, regardless whether they are misused by the current political regime or not, we must always have a national broadcaster that is sustainable, that is not insolvent, that can continue to disseminate information of the government at any given time. Considering that the new constitution has outlawed bias reporting. With those very few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support the report for the sake of it, because it has no constitutional mandate, just for the sake of it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Member, Leader of Majority, you are out. If not, Honorable Zamzam, out.